Alrighty, starting the real stream now. Okay, so thank you for coming for the first official session of our gesture drawing class. Last week was a kind of a warm-up to it. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to show people a few different methods for approaching gesture drawing, and we're going to be doing time poses for the next 3 hours or so. So the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to show some methods to do figures. Let me bring up actually something that might be good to kind of show examples from. Let's see here. That one would be pretty good. Let's use that one. Okay, so first method I'm going to show. This one is a really good one for beginners. It's called the triple cube method, where you start with a line of action, like here. And for this session, instead of drawing a whole figure, you're just going to draw a line of action about like for the torso and the pelvis and the rib cage to fit on, something like that. You can start with just two-dimensional cubes like that. But then if you want to show dimensionality to them, you can add a kind of a cube effect like that. So now we know that this right here is counterposed, where like if we saw this guy from the front here, the shoulders and hips would be tilted something like that. But you can play with this, like just kind of riff off what you're seeing in the gesture drawing on screen, and you can just do that. And then if you want to add like limbs and stuff to that, it's as easy as doing this. Like, add some simple line of action gesture lines for indicating the limbs and the feet and stuff. Nothing fancy. Just something to kind of record what you're seeing a little bit and play with it. So you can literally fill up a page after page of just like tons of the triple cube method. You might do several of these on a page if we get a page with with multiple figures on it, for example. You can also curve the cube, kind of like what I'm doing here. Like, oh, actually I got a better example on this previous page here. Of this guy here that I was showing off before class. You can curve the cube along the line of action as well, and that keeps the study from looking more stiff. So that's the first method. Next method is this method I call the I and other people, including Steven Silver, the character designer, who taught me this technique originally. This method's called referred to by many names, but it's mainly called, well, at least how Steve Silver referred to it, it's called the tornado. And this is the main method we're going to be working with tonight. The tornado is basically concentric circles. Sometimes you might draw individual circles. Sometimes you might not even take your pencil off the paper. But you use them to. You can use them. You don't have to use them for the whole figure. Like you can do what I'm doing, where parts of it are kind of mannequinized a bit, sort of like this guy or that guy. Where I'm like I might be using the misheads on some of these, and the rest of it might be using the tornado method. But the tornado method is essentially like if we use the on-screen example here. It's essentially what's essentially like a volumetric exercise of like feeling out volume, and also it's partly a silhouette exercise of understanding the silhouette of what you're drawing and like what the direction things are facing. Like you use these circles to kind of you use these concentric circles to kind of sculpt the figure for yourself, something like that. And you kind of try to build it three-dimensionally a little bit. This isn't perfect, but And then if you have to draw on top of it again, you can use a different color, like for this other arm that I'm using here. Something like that. And you can do a mannequinized you can do a partial mannequinized version of this too if you want. Like, I was using this method right here where I start with like a Loomis head. Something like this. Let's see, curved neck. But then I start here. Then I make the chest and the ribcage more of like an egg shape. Then I might use some line of action to kind of get it down to the floor and stuff, and sort of use it as a guideline for how I add the volume. Then I come back in and I add the tornado to like parts of the body that are like the extended limbs with volume on them, and then I might add like ball socket joints or cubes or something there for the joints, like an indication of the foot there. Just a little triangle wedge there. Like so. So we're about 15 minutes here, so we're going to use the rest of this time to practice this method. Like, you can watch me demo, but I'm going to be running these timed poses here for everyone to draw from. I'm going to start the timer on the next one here. So in addition to these methods, you can also do a little bit of what we've been doing last week too. Like, I was showing off last week how you can like simplify the figure into kind of a Japanese cuneiform kind of thing like this. You can do that, and then you can add the tornado to it, like this. Here I'm going to maybe do a different layer on it, because I kind of like how the cuneiform turned out. Yeah, maybe I should. If it wasn't copyright, if it wasn't copyright inducing, I might have put on the Colin Stetson music from the Uzumaki trailer. These figures are becoming contaminated by the spiral. Oh, I forgot I had that. It's a little loud, isn't it? I might disable. I'm not going to disable that for this one, but the next one definitely, or the next session we do this. So, okay, Google, set timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and we're starting now.
Goody. Goody. Goody, goody, yum, yum. Alright, so for this one, I'm actually going to incorporate the background into it a little bit. So I get this kind of like enough of an indication of the perspective here. Maybe I might make it easier on myself by adding in some more perspective grid kind of stuff going on. And let's see here. This is going to be a tricky banana. But let's see how I can do on this. Maybe about here. I want to put his foot like that. That. $69 viewers. Nice. Everyone, well, everyone should be drawing right now, otherwise I'd have them say nice in chat. Nice. At least that's what it's showing up as 69 viewers right now for me in Streamlabs. In Streamlabs OBS. Nice. That guy turned out really crude. Alright, so this is a really crunchy image, but it's enough to see the gesture here. So, go for it. This is a crunchy roll, if you will. It's like there's apparently this subculture of like Instagram daredevils, like this lady here. They, like, go out and balance on the edge of stuff. So I put a bunch of their stuff in this. Some of them are just standing on those things, but I think putting some standing poses in here was a good idea. Oh, there's some other folders that during the break I'm going to have to export, and I might wind up yoinking some extra stuff during the 5-minute break from the internet so we can fill out our folders with some more useful images. In fact, during the breaks, if anyone wants to help me, just post stuff in classroom chat that might be good figure poses to draw from. I can just yoink them directly into the folders that I use for these. But we should have more than enough right now to use for this evening. In case we don't, I have other backup things I can use. This is a brand new art PC. Also, Yammy. I tried to get your help earlier with figuring out my layout, and then everyone was just talking over each other, and didn't get anyone to help. I finally gave up. So I wanted to use something different. I don't think anyone really, I don't think too many people really hate the current duct tape and glue layout that I have. Except for you. You despise it. But I'm sure other people don't think it's very good either. I'm gonna basically be improvising. I have my Twitch layout until I figure out stuff. You notice I'm taking a break from doing the pose that's in front of me to try to improvise something. It's okay to do this every now and then. So I'm trying to do an inventory of my mannequin right now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some serious troubleshooting because it's kind of hard for me to visualize it when it's not like when I'm not watching it through a browser. I might need to actually run a stream to really see it and try to troubleshoot this stuff. Wow, 71 viewers. Really nice. You can actually run test streams. Oh yeah, I know you can. I just don't know how. It show up on Twitch, but only you can see. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that later. But I want to run one where other people can see it. Maybe I can just stream the test screen or something. to Discord. Ah. Oh, there's a monkey. I thought that was a person when I yoinked that image. There's a monkey. I'm gonna draw that monkey. A primate. So there's two primates in this picture. You think that monkey's a Photoshop, or is it actually? Yeah, I think it might actually. I think that monkey is actually leaping between the buildings. Like this person's in an area that has like a lot of monkeys, and they often leaping between the buildings or something. Yeah, this tornado technique and the underlying principles of gesture drawing, you can pretty much use to draw anything, really. Like you can even use, like I'm using it on a primate, which is pretty close to a human, but you can use this on like four-legged animals. Didn't quite get his gesture right, but that's okay. Maybe get a little thumbnail of this guy. That guy's making a really nice pose too. Just get a little cuneiform thumbnail of him. So for this one, I'm going to maybe try the triple box method. I'm going to actually start with a box right here for his head. So Yami, something I'm thinking of doing, if I can do it without like making the screen layout too distracting, I was thinking of making two of those, what are those, the VTubers or whatever, avatars. One of Space Dad and one of Astropug, and they're both drawing on Cintiqs on separate sides of the screen. And whenever I speak, I'm not speaking, they both have their heads down and they're drawing. But whenever I speak, Space Dad kind of sits up and speaks, and Astropug kind of looks over at him like he's listening to him. And their idle poses are just them drawing in animated poses, moving their pencil around on the Cintiqs. So I was going to do the triple box method, but I wound up just kind of vibing. Let's get some boxes in there, though. Yeah, I doodled some thumbnails on them in Procreate earlier. I might upload those to Discord chat during the break. But there's this artist who has like a dinosaur theme page, who has like an anthropomorphic dinosaur that was remarkably well drawn, that me and Yami both saw the other day, that basically does what I'm talking about. It looks really cute too, because the idle they didn't really like do much of any complicated animation for when they pop up either. It was just like a pose change, and then they kind of boop up and down a little bit every time that there's like voice activation. So it's not any complex thing like face rig or anything, not motion tracking. It just responds to the audio of the streamer. So it shouldn't be too hard to make one or two of those. I also need to finish up my walk cycles this week for the shoot. I messed up. I was gonna do the tornado on this guy. That's what I was gonna do. Let's see if I can adjust my chair to get more back support while I'm doing this. So yeah, I'm streaming this. This is the second day of me streaming on the new ARM PC. Which is a 3900X 32 gigabyte PC that has a GTX 1080 in it that I already own. And it's nice being able to do all this multitasking and streaming and other things without any kind of like server load or something like that. I may actually get in order to like even improve things even further, I may actually get a capture card in the future. But it's not entirely necessary, at least not at this stage. It might be if I get more into Blender and I really need the system resources more. Like I have a separate computer that can be used, my old computer can be used as a dedicated streaming PC or something. There's a lot of people in the scene. One guy getting cut off up at the top. So when you get a lot of little poses like this that are kind of hard to make out a bit, just think of them in really simple terms like this. And I'm not really going crazy complicated with them. I'm just going to do a little tornado over the line of action here a bit. Yeah, there's also a hidden person over here. Very nicely spotted by Yami down there in the corner. Yami's just going nuts with the Buff Pup avatars, by the way. That's a streamer that has an art streamer that I introduced them to a couple days ago that they since have subscribed to. Who I do recommend checking out. Buff Pup is their name. I should really remember to mod Yami so that Yami can post links in chat. I'll do that during the break. Buff Pup. Well, but that's the name of the streamer, and I think that's the name of their page. Their gimmick is that they are an anthropomorphic Shiba Inu with a cute, squeaky voice, with like animated avatars, like 2D hand-drawn animated avatars. So their streams are like part art stream, part like puppet performance, basically. There's a lot of streamers that are kind of like that, and I'm interested in making something like that that's like low key for my stuff that's not distracting, like the VTuber thing that I was talking about. The project of making a live 2D rig would be fun too, as long as it's not too well, I mean, just learning how to make it would be a good endeavor, I think, but in terms of having it on screen during my classes, I could maybe see having it on during like a vibing stream. Okay, Google, stop. Alright, this will be our last pose. We'll just finish this one up, then we'll be on a 5-minute break. stop now because I want to rest my hand a bit and shake my arm out. I've been drawing basically non-stop since the warm-ups, so I should definitely rest my hand right now. Alright, so I'm going to pause this. We'll start where we left off when we get back. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Starting now.
These exercises make my forearm and wrist twinge in pain. How can I prevent that? Do not draw with your wrist. Draw with your shoulder and your arm. That's the other thing. If you're drawing from your wrist doing these, I do not recommend doing the tornado. You need to draw. You train yourself to draw from your shoulder. Hold your keep your hand and wrist kind of loose. Don't cramp up and stuff. Just enough to hold the pencil and keep the pencil under control without squeezing or pressing down hard. Draw from your arm and draw from your shoulder. That's what I'm doing right now. This huge tablet right here. This huge tablet right here. It looks small because I've got it's a 1080p 22-inch Cintiq that I have turned on its side in portrait mode, so I can actually pull it down over my lap as if I'm working with a figure drawing class drawing board. So I have an experience that feels a little bit like I'm in a figure drawing workshop right now with this thing. Yeah, Charizard, that's part of the satisfaction of the tornado method, because instead of working through things by piecemeal, you kind of feel your way through the figure and sculpt it a bit. So it's easier to kind of visualize it and think through something. It's a tool for keying in it's a tool for solving problems. You can use this to solve problems in foreshortening and other things in your drawing in general. But it's also a tool for waking your brain up to think about things three-dimensionally and volumetrically. Yeah, they're not supposed to look good. They can look good, the more of them you do, but they're not. That's what you're not really going for. This is a technique to get you to understand what you're looking at and how to break stuff down. You might use something like this to figure out a pose before you try to refine it more or build it up into what will be your finished drawing. Do you have any physical objects with you that help visualize 3D on 2D? Well, that's a good thing you mentioned that, because I've actually got a donation goal for one of those tools that I'm trying to get donations for. Oh, looks like somebody may have just sent me a donation just now. But here, I'll show you my donation page on screen here. Copy paste that for chat. Yeah, this is my coffee donation page. I'm also working on putting together a Twitch stream, Patreon. But what I'm working towards right now as my current goal is to buy a John Asaro head. And what the Asaro head is, here, let's go. Planes of the head. There we go. So it's on this site, planesofthehead.com. Also, if you want to help support this, here's my donation link for my Ko-fi page, so you can help me buy one of these things as my next donation goal. Just link that in both chats real quick. But yeah, John Asaro is a painter who's been around for quite a while, and he's very incredibly accomplished, and he's made a series of sculptural tools that you can buy in this, through his website, that a lot of them have become standard in art schools. And I used to practice from this guy when I was in art school. The Asaro head, which is this thing here. This guy. Whoops. Yeah, the Asaro head, which we actually were using a 3D model from Sketchfab to practice from, is an excellent drawing tool that is about like it's like simplified planar forms of the head, and it's different on each side. One side is more simplified, simplified and feminine, and the other side is more blocky and more like detailed and masculine. Comes with like a booklet talking about the thought process that went into creating this thing. Okay, Google, stop. And basically, I'm going to get one of these mounted on a tripod. I'm going to take lots of photos of it. I'm also going to maybe even try to set up a webcam thing for the classes I teach to explain this thing more. I would recommend picking one of these things up for yourself to practice a ton from. Like, this is one of those tools that if you do get it, will last you a lifetime. There's also a simplified head. This one I probably will eventually order as well. This is an even simpler Asaro head with simpler planes. We also studied from this, a 3D model version of this from the Sketchfab 3D model site, which has like some people who made like the versions of these. Asaro head Sketchfab. I'm going to link that in chat actually. Here's Sketchfab. I'm going to link in chat the collection I have of head drawing tools that has this in there real quick before we get back to our figure drawing. And I want to give a quick shout out to someone I saw who donated to me to help me get that darn thing. But I'm going to be putting together more collections of stuff, especially before the Friday class, for the figure drawing class, of Sketchfab 3D models that you can use as study resources. But like, there's a few different versions of the Asaro head with different lighting here that are really handy to practice from. But I want to get a 3D real-life physical version of this puppy, basically, from the official John Asaro site. Yeah. So let me take a look at this page. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get a shout out to the person who just donated to me. Before we get back to things. Yeah, Charizard just, thank you. Very nice. Thank you very much for your support, Charizard. Oh, $9. Thank you very much. Put me another 8% towards my goal, it looks like. Awesome. I'm 38% of the way there before I can order that puppy. That bad boy. It'd be nice to have that before we get back to studying the Asaro head in coming weeks in the head drawing class. But anyway, let's get back to the gesture drawing now. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes. And we're starting.
Okay, 25 minutes. And that's starting now.
Starting on this dude, Mr. Upside Down here. We're going to do more 2-minute poses here. I may slow it down or speed it up as we go through these. Like, I might have us do 5-minute poses like really, really slowly at some point. But I think I also might want to try 1-minute poses sometime, or even 30-second poses. I think we're mostly good to stick with. Hang on, I'm going to check the music to make sure there's no public domain, non-public domain playing. Okay, we're good. Let's make sure autoplay is turned off. Now, the next thing that's on is royalty free too, so I'll just leave it on. I should make like a bunch of royalty-free playlists just for these streams, really. Or use some existing ones. Like yesterday, well no, on Monday's class, when the autoplay came up, a bunch of non-public, on a playlist that I was playing after it finished, a bunch of non-public domain, non-royalty-free stuff played, and now I'm having to like strip those songs out with YouTube's remove just the song feature one by one, and I've got about 4 or 5 more songs left to remove. Thankfully, I was playing them at such a low volume; it's easy for YouTube to remove them, but it's still really annoying. This guy's purely silhouette. But that's all the more reason why you shouldn't be copying on these. You should be trying to use them as a basis to construct a figure and build stuff using the tornado. This is supposed to be challenging for your ability to improvise with some of these difficult images. When we do it's okay for some of these to be a little unclear. Although in this case, I picked this one because it's a silhouette, where it's pretty clear what's going on. Just not necessarily as clear like where exactly his neck is coming out or something like that. Yami, go to sleep. I wonder what time zone Yami is in. Wow, 82 viewers. Thank you all for showing up today. We're going to be getting a good art workout in. I've had like 100 viewers in here before. Like, it was the last time I think I had 100 viewers in here was like just before like a official Ethan Becker stream was going to happen. So like there was a lot of people that were like waiting for that to start, and so they just showed up for my class. But I had one I'm having to end mine early because I have to help on the official stream. I wish Ethan Becker showed up more for these. He's really busy. Like, he is mostly hands-off on the Discord, but he does do really cool stuff with the streaming stuff, and he does, like, fun... Like, the last time, like, when the last stream he was running was fundraising, was partly fundraising for running classes like mine that we teach through the Discord. So I got some dollar out of that. Divvied up with the other artists. Next time that happens, yeah, be sure to donate. You'll give more. You give more to not just me, but you'll support the whole Ethan Becker Discord art instructor community that we have going, that we've been building for the last 4 months. I think it's going on. Some of the things you can do to like build these out some more, add like center lines, like for the body, for example. You can add indications of like areas of anatomy, like the hip, like the fatty areas above the hips there, for example, like I just did. You can add maybe like the cube of the pelvis, kind of. Like the up tilt of the rib cage, something like that. Just an indication of it. I'm adding the spine back here, drawing through the figure. There we go. I've seen that image before. No, we've drawn from this image before in our class. You don't really have to pressure yourself with these either. You're going to be doing lots and lots of figures. You do want to push yourself to try things that you haven't really done before, but it's okay to just vibe and kind of go with it, because you're going to be working your art muscles the more of these you do. So just go with it. Don't beat yourself up if it looks terrible. Just try different things. Like, I'm trying to draw really small right here just to see what will happen. There's some things I like and some things I don't like about that. And maybe we try something like this over here. Maybe I'll do the triple cube exercise and the rest of these, but do it really small. So for those of you new to this stream, well, first of all, welcome. But second of all, these are free art classes that we teach through the official Discord of art YouTuber Ethan Becker, where we do cover topics like animation, concept art, and so on. We have a very active voice chat community there for people to ask questions and kind of find motivation to keep doing art. We have people of all skill levels from beginner to intermediate to advanced to professional. I myself am a professional, but I'm not very good. And that is why I'm teaching. Because one of the best ways to get good at art, or get good at anything that you want to get good at, is to try to teach it. And that's true. If you want to get good at something, try teaching it to other people. As you're like breaking down the information and learning about it, you have to explain it to other people. You have to apply it. Like what I'm doing here, you can do with your friends, basically, or you can do on your own. Maybe even try running streams kind of like this. If you're taking the subject seriously, if you're clocking in the hours to study it and understand it, and you have like notes collected about what you're learning, you can try to teach it to other people. You can review the notes and try to read them back to people. You can do live demos trying to wrestle with stuff, and you can fully disclose, like, I'm not that good. I'm struggling. I have my good days and my bad days. I'm not a professional teacher yet. I'm a professional artist, but I'm not that good. I'm trying to get better so I can get higher paying gigs, and so I can, more importantly, make the kind of art that I would be really relatively satisfied with. I don't want to trick myself into thinking that, like, I'm never going to be good enough, because that's a recipe for just burning yourself out. Like, I should always be hungry to learn more and not beat myself up if I'm falling a little bit short of where I want to be. Like, you want to push yourself to do better, but you don't want to beat yourself up. If that makes any sense for the folks here. But that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm a bit of an egomaniac, so I have a hard time finding motivation to draw without being around other people. Like, I almost kind of need other people around me to sort of validate what I'm doing. But that's just how I am. But it's not exactly alien to a lot of artists. I mean, you go to an art school, you might not even be streaming, and you have the same experience when you're sitting in the art lab with other people, drawing around other people, doing your university homework. that's literally the experience that I'm creating here by running these classes and also in our Discord with other people. When you're just chilling and vibing, talking shop about art, sometimes wandering off topic to different things that you're interested in. Like that's the big thing. Like even when you're in our Discord, generally even when you're not talking about art, you should be probably drawing when you're in there. Like you want to use our Discord community as a place to kind of train your good art habits, your good daily art habits. And so I've been like kind of building how I do these classes through trial and error. And I'm starting to kind of hit my stride with how these are paced out, I'm finding setups kind of like what we're doing right now tend to work the best, where I teach you a little bit of a concept, and then I let people try it out for the next few hours. And they can see me using some of the concepts too. Like I'm using the cube method that I was talking about earlier right now, with some other things that I know about. Like I used it there. This pose is a little similar to the last one, so I might do something a little different. In the future in this class, there's some really fun, like crazy stuff we'll get into with what you can do. You can turn these guys into, you can turn like your poses into characters and create scenes with them. We might even do something like, there might be a session in the future where I take a bunch of like existing animation scenes and stuff and use them as our gesture drawing fodder to draw from, in conjunction with like real human figures and stuff, or really dynamic fantasy art. I've done that before for like Frank Pizzetta, for example, with the groups in here. You can also do it with like classical painters and anything really, early 20th century illustrators. We've done it for J.C. Leyendecker and Alex Ross before. Alex Ross is not early 20th century illustrator, but he's a damn good illustrator. That last pick was complicated. How so? I'm curious what you found complicated about that. I can kind of guess. I mean, it is kind of a tricky pose if you don't know what you're looking for. So a lot of these, we're getting a lot of these in a row of like these kind of mid backflip poses, aren't we? At least this one is from the profile view this time. So I'm gonna maybe let's try this for this. Like I'm gonna try seeing how simple of a line I can simplify this into. So something like that. Maybe erase some of this. Oh, also I have access to Photoshop again. I meant to be using Photoshop for this session, but I'm set up with Clip right now, so I'm just going to stick with it. A habit I'm going to be getting into from now on, by the way, is after I get done with my classes, I'm going to be exporting screenshots of all the demos I've done. And they're going to be going to my Patreon. So Patreon viewers will be able to get high quality versions of them. I'm also going to be probably making them available for free. Not all of them, but a good portion of them available for free online as well. The Patreon supporters will be able to get like the full high quality versions and stuff. And they'll also be able to get my Clip Studio and PSD files at like the $25 tier of support. The basic, there's like a thank you support level that's like $1. And then there's like a high quality image of the class demos tier of support for $5. And then there's the $25 one for getting the PSDs and the Clip Studio files. That's how I have it currently set up. In the future I might have like an art commission tier once I figure out a good workflow that I want to use for art commissions. And when I get more into doing animation stuff regularly, there's going to be a tier where you can get my animation files, probably. It will probably be like a $35 tier or $35 to $60 tier, depending on, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Because the animation files can be pretty like dense with the amount of stuff that's in them. That's the reason why I would charge more for that. They might even include like really complex stuff, like whatever compositing I might have been using if I'm getting into that. So yeah, we'll see. That's going to be for the future, and I might, if I feel like I would be able to handle doing it, I will probably do a limited occupancy one-on-one tutoring tier of some kind. But I need to figure out what I'm going to do for that first, so I make it worth people's time. I think that one will be probably better to launch after I re-enter the animation industry, I think, though. But I'll see. That's my goal right now. Like, I'm doing this to create a foundation of learning for myself that even when I re-enter the industry, I have something that I can fall back on and do when I'm not working full-time. And I also have to use this as like a secret weapon to improve my skills on the side and loosen up and try different things and stuff when I'm outside of work. Get my art workouts as if I'm enrolled in the class. But I created the class myself, so I don't have to pay a cent for it. And neither do all of you. These classes are free, essentially. There are paid classes that I can strongly recommend, though. Like, I'll maybe show some of them during the break. Like, paid classes by some really awesome people. Some of whom are people we know, people in our Discord actually know personally, too. Some of them are people that I've been taught from previously, too, who are freaking rad. And I'm actually been using some of the old materials and notes I collected from them to study and restudy things. Yeah, Brainstorms classes. Are you taking any of them, Zucchini? They look really good. Brainstorm Academy, I think it's called. It's a really, really awesome looking online art academy site, online art school site. And they have like freaking amazing artists teaching there. Like, just, wow. Just incredible. I was until COVID hit. I took World Building 1 with Scott Zentino. I didn't know Ethan visits there too. I don't know if he visits. I don't know if he visited there. But I know he was from Concept. I know he's been. His first classes that he ever took was at Concept Design Academy, though, CDA, which is another school similar to Brainstorm, and it actually has some of the same instructors in it. They're both based in LA, I believe. Yeah. One of them, there's like, yeah, they're both based in LA, in the LA area. But I don't know if CDA teaches online video streaming classes, but I know that Brainstorm Academy does. There's one artist in particular that I'm particularly enamored by that I'll show some work from a little bit later. But they are someone whose work is like, holy shit. And if I had money, I would be fucking taking a class from them. Definitely. Which person? I'm brain farting for their name, but they are someone who some of the people, some of the Art Center folks who are in our Discord actually know personally. But she's the person that I'm thinking of that I'll show during the next break is freaking rad. Like, their work is, oh wow, really, really good. And I think it would be excellent to look at them during the break because we can get inspired by them a bit. And I'm more than happy to give a plug to someone that freaking raw. Well, more than happy to give a plug to anyone really at any skill level. But I'm more than happy enough to give a plug to someone like that, someone with skills like that people can get inspired by. and potentially learn from. That's the thing though, like envy and beating yourself up when you see artists that are better than you is something you have to train yourself to get over. And there's a very simple way that you can use to get over that. When you see another artist like on ArtStation or somewhere that's like really freaking rad, instead of thinking, I wish I'd studied more, I could be like them. Well, no. You look at that art, you think to yourself, that's mine. That is mine. I'm going to integrate that into how I study now. And the best way to retrain how you think about that, you take their work, you put it, maybe print it out, maybe put some tracing paper on it, maybe lower opacity on it, and you draw over it to learn from it. Not to like plagiarize it for your own work or anything like that, but to learn from it and understand it and kind of vibe with it. You maybe try to find out about their methods if they post online about stuff, about like their approaches to things. And so you do that enough, and you stop being envious when you see other artists that are really awesome. You start thinking, wow, I can learn from that person. There's bits and pieces of this person that are going to go into my bloodstream, and I'm looking forward to that. That's what I don't have that sense of envy anymore at all, because of like how much I've been doing that, and it's really liberating. It helps you get over your any imposter syndrome you have too. It's like you feel the blood moving in your veins instead of stagnating, is how I would describe the feeling you get out of that shift in mindset. So I'm looking forward to keeping up what I'm doing in this Discord for years to come, and seeing how much of a difference it makes in my skills. This and other things I'm going to do, because I'm planning on taking like classes again and stuff too. But I'm not going to stop this. I might depending on like my workload or something, I might scale back the classes I teach or how much I can show up here. Here in both on Twitch and the Discord, but I'm not going to stop this. This is an excellent means of getting study mileage in on the side, even when I'm employed full time. And we've been doing master studies of like animation and stuff in other classes, and I've been leading some drawovers of some existing work too, showing people like the ways in which you can kind of try to absorb and vibe with existing cool ass work. You can use that for classical drawing too, like you go to old masters or like Greek and Roman sculpture or Renaissance masters or 1800s illustrators, which have some really freaking rad work to look at. Earliest 20th century illustrators and modern ones. Just grab that shit, draw over it, try to copy bits and pieces of it. You don't have to get super into it, but you can if you want. Okay, Google stop. Alright, this is our last pose. I'll set a timer after this one changes for our 5-minute break. For fun, I kind of handled his foot as like kind of a curl there. I'm just trying to get like some of the feeling of the pose and then design it into something fun. Maybe include a little triangle wedge right here for his chin. Another one of those for his nose. And for the eye. Let's see where else I can do stuff. Maybe like this for his shoulder here. I'm just kind of vibing on this. Alright, there we go. So we're going to leave it there. And Okay, Google, set timer 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Starting now.
I'm gonna shake my hand out. And let's take a look at that one artist I was talking about. You take frequent breaks for working on a project too? Yes. It's a good idea to use the Pomodoro method of timing yourself, or at least like kind of gauging yourself a little bit. It helps you partition the use of your time, and it keeps you from overdoing it and straining your arm or dehydrating yourself. In fact, I'm going to get some water right now. I'll be right back. Just give me a sec. I would say that getting up and stretching every now and then, like every 25 minutes or so, is a good idea. 5 to 10 minute breaks every hour or so. Yeah, Charizard, you got that right. The tornado should be moving in a way that forms the body and gives the illusion of coming towards, or going away, or going parallel from the camera. Yeah. You're making tubes, basically, and the tubes are going to change direction depending on which way the oval is pointed. I'll show a little bit more of that when we get back into that, but I want to show that one artist I was talking about. We're back down to 69 viewers again, by the way. Nice. Alright, so they are on ArtStation, this person, and I've liked and followed their work, so they're not going to be too hard to find. Look at my likes collection here to find them. Wait, I think I found them already. TB Choi. Here they are. I will link them right now in both of the chats. Also, thank you all for the follows, the newcomers who have just followed me. But yeah, let me put them on screen. Whoa. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer? Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 1 minute and 33 seconds remaining.
Wow. Well, we'll go over a little just so I can show this off. Yeah, this is TB Choice stuff, and they teach at the Brainstorm Academy. Yeah, we're not going to be able to click the non-work safe stuff, but their work is really freaking awesome. Some of these I think are demos that she did for class recently. She's known in particular for doing a lot of fan art of one of the Rainbow Six cast members. But yeah, here, this is some of her class demo stuff, talking about different principles of design and drawing and stuff, which is really cool. Yeah, her work is freaking awesome. Some League of Legends, League of Legends work she did. There's some storyboard stuff in here. There's a couple of different storyboard things she did in here. Here she is showing different character design styles. realistic, semi-stylized, stylized. I would argue that even her realistic one is stylized too, but she knows that. But less stylized. Okay, Google, stop. So I'll just peek at a couple of other things first real quick. Should probably link the Brainstorm Academy. Brainstorm. There it is, Brainstorm Online. There it is. We'll link it in chat, but she teaches there. And if I get a lot of monies together in the future, I will definitely enroll in that and probably try to take classes from her or any of the other awesome people there. I actually really want to go down the rabbit hole of the other really cool people here, because I've seen some amazing work from the folks who teach there. They got a lot of classes too. They got like figure drawing and anatomy and other things too. Like, I mean, there's so much stuff to do to like potentially dig through here there. And their prices are pretty reasonable for what they are. It's just outside my current budget for anything at the moment. Alright, so we're going to be back to 2-minute poses again. Here's the Shutterstock crisscross there, and we're starting now. Okay, Google, set timer 25 minutes.
Sure, 25 minutes. And that's starting now.
Let's see, we got... How many sessions is that so far? 2, right? This is number 3. Is this number 3 that we're starting right now? Or is this number 4? Okay. So we're going to be doing a total of... Yeah, this is number 3. So we're going to be doing a total of 5. Okay, the first one when I was... Yeah, well, we're going to be aiming to end at 8:30. So we'll just keep going till then, basically. Also, I'm trying to like upgrade how my stream my stream works, like my layout and my other things. So if you guys have any suggestions of things I could add to it, or things I should try using or change, like whether it be chat bots, whether it be stream layout things, whether it be messing with the audio if the audio levels need some improvement, or if there's tools or other things like it. Wow, one of the Instagram stunt people, the Instagram daredevils right here. I just want the lo-fi back. Yeah. I mean, it's not lo-fi that's playing, but it's like some really kind of... It's public domain synthwave. I think there's lo-fi. As long as it's like royalty-free stuff, I can play it here. So, I mean, if you have any royalty-free stuff, DM me, I guess. I'll put it on the mix. So there is music playing. I think we had it at a good volume to begin with. So the puppet that I'm using here, this one's a little bit closer to the Loomis puppet, I think. Then I can add the tornado. Aha. 200 IQ. little grid there for the placement of the feet, just for fun. Finally, a normal pose. Yeah, that's why I threw some normal poses in here to kind of reorient people to the figure on purpose. Some of them just happen to be Instagram stunt people, because they showed up when I was looking at parkour stuff, and it's like, oh, well, we need some normal poses. Let's just throw them in. This is interesting. Maybe you could even compose this one a little bit like how it's composed on the page. I'm gonna try that actually. So we got for the purposes of this, I'm going to make both the buildings like completely parallel to each other, even if they're not in exact elevation. It's hard for me to tell, but yeah. Someone gave me a thank you on Discord just now. They're not sure how it works here. If you need to verify yourself, and if you haven't already on the Discord, I think it's like you have to verify your phone number or something. And also I think there's something you have to do in the rules section before it'll let you post in the text chat or something. If you have any trouble with that, just DM me, and I can give you the student role. And then you'll be able to post in text chat. In addition to that, there's an opt-in form you can use to. Okay, these figures are really gigantic. How I drew them here. That should be small, real small. So maybe let's shrink them both. Something like that. There's a few good DMCA free Spotify playlists. Yeah, and if I use those, I can use Spotify integration on stuff on here potentially. There's some neat doodads for that. I wish there was like a way to like stream Amazon Music here, because like if there was a way to stream my Amazon Prime playlist, if two people that have Amazon Prime or something, so then I can play a lot of stuff that is not royalty free that other people will be able to hear, but that won't be audible on the stream. I'm not sure how that would work though, because like OBS kind of goes by desktop audio, and you kind of have to set up virtual audio cable stuff for that to work. But if Twitch ever found out a way to make that work, that'd be really nice. So for this one, there's foreshortening on that leg there. So I'm going to do like these circles going back there for that thigh. And then you can see you can actually see on his shirt the direction of what would be the tornado. You can also see it on the sleeve of his forearm and his bicep. You can look for cues on the body to find where you're going to be putting the tornado. There we go. And you don't have to finish it. You can just... That's good enough for now. We can move on to the next one. Yeah, this guy's a really crunchy JPEG artifacted image, but we'll do it anyway. So all we need is the basic pose. Voice meter banana, or the version of voice meter, is good to mix like that. Yeah. Yeah, because I'd like to play like good music and stuff that won't get me copyright stricken when I'm on the stream, you know. So I upload these to YouTube later, and I'm less worried about the Twitch than I am about the the YouTube replays. But that's a moot point if you're using like royalty-free stuff. What's good these days is that there's so much royalty-free stuff, you can just use it in your you can use a lot of these if you're making like an animated film or something, or a game. You want to credit the artist, it's out of courtesy, you know. But I do like that. There's entire albums full of royalty-free music by some really cool-ass artists, too. Crunchy. Crunch. I should maybe ask some of the small streamer community for some tips on how to improve my stream quality too. Would it be possible to turn down the beeping sound at the end of the pose? I don't think I can adjust the volume of the app itself. Let me see if Volume Mixer will actually do that for me. Yes, it will. So I've just adjusted the volume on the app itself now in Windows Volume Mixer. So hopefully that solves that problem. Just curious, is anyone here actually enrolled in like art school classes, whether it be art university classes or something like the Brainstorm Academy that's like a either brick and mortar or online art school taught by professionals? You in an art club? That's cool. It's a high school or university? Or college or whatever. Plan to do Concept Academy for the fall term. Cool. You mean Concept Design Academy, or what's middle school? Wow. Yeah, also you can do what I'm doing here on your own too. I'll show you the apps that I use, and there's some other things to check out. So if you notice, for this one I'm kind of doing an invented pose right now for this, because I kind of want to reorient myself a bit with my figure, with my mannequins. Oh yeah, CDA. Which class are you taking? Are you planning to, or class as are you planning on taking at CDA? I do not like that. Let me try something like this. But yeah, something I'm planning on budgeting for in the future as future donation goals. I want to make a webcam that I can use as a down shooter over a traditional drawing pad or light table. And so like what I'm doing on the left side of the screen here, you can see me doing traditionally off of like a drawing board or something. It's a pretty good little invented figure there. So when we were faced with challenging poses like this one, like your first instinct should be to think, what tools do I have in my toolbox to kind of break something like this down? And you might use different tools that you've learned about for different parts of it. Like I'm using a box for what I think the rib cage is, and that's going to help me wrap my head around the upshot that this is happening at. Maybe I'll use another cue for the pelvis here. Like that. I'm not going for perfection here. I'm trying to kind of understand this guy. There's not enough time for perfection in this. And perfectionism is bullshit. There's going to be tons of flaws in everything you make, even when you become a pro. And become, like, people who are ridiculously higher level than me make tons of mistakes all the time. And they call them out, too. Like, literally the main guy I've been studying from lately, for like learning figure drawing principles outside of this, has been like calling out his own mistakes in the videos that I've been watching of him over and over again. And he really stresses, like, don't go for perfectionism. You are going to have to accept that you're going to make a lot of mistakes in the stuff you make. Even when you get really high level. That is an interesting mindset shift to make, that you kind of have to, oh wow, that is a really, well, let's try this one. Let's maybe try using the scenery here. Yeah, this is a crunchy ass image. Also, thank you everyone who has shown up today. Thank you. You are gradually helping to grow my Twitch stream audience for these classes just by being here. It's like just being here and showing up does help me. Yeah, she's kind of small. But there's just enough information there to work with to kind of do something along the lines of what I'm doing. There's not enough, like, you need to kind of improvise with what you're seeing. Like, I really, really like the way that she's leaning back, like, really far in that thing. I think she's even leaning back further than what I did with my S-curve there. Like, maybe the head could go down that way. And maybe there could be more tension on that arm for grabbing the pole there. Or the ladder. And I just noticed there's indications of perspective on that ladder. I'm going to not go for perfection in that, but I'm going to add that as something to convey the angle at which we're looking at this from. Which is fun. You should look for little opportunities to play with perspective in these as you do, because you exercise little principles here. Oh wow! Speaking of perspective, this one has a warped fisheye lens effect going on here. So don't get caught up in that, because there's warping happening with that figure there. Just use it as a basis to kind of work with the rhythms of the figure, you know. So let's see, her hip is about there. Her leg is doing this really funky, weird thing where the foot is kind of twisting off there. The knee would be about here-ish, I'd want to say. Yep, somewhere there. It's a really tricky pose. It's a great opportunity for the tornado, though. Because you got that arm that's going away from us up here. Maybe for the heck of it, I'll include like a bit of the bowed thing that she's got her arm on, like that. So I'm not trying to get like a pretty drawing out of this. I'm trying to understand a little bit of the guts of what's going on in this really strange photograph, unusual photograph. It's not that strange. Strange in terms of compared to the other shots we've gotten. So I learned a little bit about something really complex that I really hadn't drawn before in that pose. I took a few drops, a few little droplets of information away from that. And that's what you should be going for with these. Like, you want to take like a couple things of understanding away from these. Like, you're not going for pretty drawings at all with these. You're going for understanding, trying to learn, trying to take some information from it. Like, what's happening there? How can I kind of find that out? What happens if I do this? The moment you start trying to go for finished drawings where it has to be this or that, I have to draw out every limb, I have to do out this and that stuff, then you start like rushing things instead of taking your time to kind of play with it. You're going to get things wrong. It's okay. You want to see why you got them wrong. You want to maybe think about why you got them wrong. Or, I'm going to try this. That didn't work out too good. What if I tried this? Or what if I tried this one on the next one? I would kind of compare what we're doing here a little bit to like Richard Williams actually talked about this proverb of like there's a man who's got a spoon and he's by spoonful he's standing next to an empty lake that's been drained out, and he's putting in by spoonful spoonfuls of yogurt into the lake. And someone walks by and asks him, why are you putting like spoonfuls of yogurt into the lake? Like, isn't that a waste of time? And the guy said, yeah, well, it's really time consuming, yeah, but imagine how great it would be to have like a lake full of yogurt one day. And that's the same approach you want to take to doing this stuff. Like, you're spooning like little bits of knowledge. Yeah, expired yogurt. Yeah. Well, I know, but like for the point of this proverb, like the yogurt would not expire, basically. But yeah, like you're not doing like you may have like times when you make big leaps forward and stuff, but you're going to be making little small leaps, little small steps by doing these, and the point is to keep doing them every day, stuff like this and other studies that you'll be doing to improve your skills, and eventually you'll have a lake full of yogurt, basically. Even the people that you think are extremely talented and stuff, that like, oh, those guys are just like predisposed to be amazing artists, they had to do the same thing. They may have started younger, and that's how they got so good so soon in their lives, or they're just really focused, efficient at practicing. But literally everyone who you see who is good, who's like vaunted as like a prodigy and stuff, if you actually look what they actually did to get there, it's an absurd amount of work. Like with virtually no exception. I mean, there's people who are like really good at visual memory and really good at like hand-eye coordination, dexterity, and so on. But even they have to put in an absurd amount of work to get good at this stuff. Like, they have things that are a benefit to them when they are at a high level, for sure. But, like, even people who have poor visual memory, poor eyesight, poor hand-eye coordination, tons of people have become, like, amazing fucking draftsmen. Because they found ways to make it work over time for themselves. Just through, like, sheer tenacity. And adapting to their shortcomings. Like, if you're poor at visual memory, surround yourself with tons of images of cheat sheet stuff that you can refer to. That's what I'm going to be doing in the future, because my visual memory is a little crappy. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, and we're starting now.
Goody. So that was number 3, and we got 2 more of these sessions to go, I would say. Good. Actually, like 2.5, possibly. Because we kind of started, I think our first one was basically like when I was doing those demos at the very start of class. We'll see, though. Maybe the last one the last one can be character drawing for fun. Like when we get so warmed up, we might try doing some character drawing or something. I'll throw on like some Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles art, and we can copy study from that. I'm definitely seeing myself improve, but there's application stuff I need to get more into. But my manual ability to draw, I'm definitely seeing an improvement over the course of these classes I've been teaching. You just set a timer at my Google Home. Lovely. Well, now we're coordinating. Okay, Google, why does the porridge bird lay his eggs in the air?
On the website Quora.com, they say, due to the nature and consistency of porridge, much of the creature will fall from the porridge bird's clutches before the bird can reach its own nest.
Forced learning. Yes, I'm forcing all of you to learn. Let me step back here a bit. Okay, let's see. Anyone have any questions, by the way? I'm just curious. I'm going to try adding an image here, just for fun. Let's see here. Let's see how well this works. Let's put this back here. It's a little saturated. But I think this is fun. I just want to put this on here for fun. Let's see how it formats with the other. Where would you start with learning anatomy if you're complete and total beginner? I wouldn't, honestly. I would start with gesture drawing and shape, and probably simplified anatomy, but anatomy is something that you plug into your understanding of shape and gesture. There's simplified anatomy you can learn, like see these boxes and cubes that I'm using and so on, and like the sweep of the arm and so on. We're going to be getting more into anatomy later in my Friday figure drawing class. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes, starting now.
All right. So we got 2 more sessions or 2.5 more sessions, depending. You think it's a good idea to have a center line for the face? It's however you want to do it. The point of this is to use these tools in a way that helps you understand what you're drawing. You can just do pure tornadoes if you want. Just play with these tools in a way that gets you to understand what you're doing. You should cultivate the ability to use different tools different ways. Sometimes you use the center line, sometimes you won't, for these quick sketches anyway. It depends what you're using and why. Like, maybe I could use a center line there to kind of show the direction. Maybe I could throw some shadow underneath it to kind of indicate the downward directions of things. So the big thing I want people to concentrate on for this class is the use of the tornado. You can try integrating that with other stuff too. But if you get lost, you can come back to the tornado, or you can use that triple box method I also showed too. I'm going back to the tornado right now. Can you draw a few figures using shapes instead of lines? Yes. You can make boxes that have the gesture integrated directly into them, like curvy boxes, like here. Got a little confused there. Stuff kind of like this. Like curvy, bendy boxes that integrate the gesture directly into them. You can also use more. You can also do something like this, like use the gesture line as your guideline for the placement of the boxes, or you can kind of freehand it. Like if you kind of know where the gesture is, like you can kind of ghost it, and then like figure out a really dynamic way for how you place your boxes. without doing that. Maybe like I'm doing like 2 separate boxes here for the calf and the thigh. This is just an example of the kind of stuff you can do. Maybe like a pyramid or a triangle wedge here for the foot, something like that. Foreshortening on the leg there. Maybe make like a cube here for the build some more off the foot there, maybe. Yeah, I mean you can do stuff like this. But the thing is, if you go too much into one direction or another, you might stiffen yourself up or get too loosey-goosey. The goal with doing this kind of stuff is you want to kind of go back and forth between it, because the eventual goal is you want to combine your sense of gesture and your sense of structure together. Because either things will look too stiff or too loosey-goosey and lacking in structure if you go too far one way or the other. Like, the drawing will fall apart if there's no structure. The drawing will fall apart if there's no gesture. Not always, though. There are some really impeccably well-drawn structural drawings that are completely stiff but still look cool. So, I mean, like, these are just principles to follow, not hard, fast rules. But the rapport you kind of want to shoot for is the ability to have the visual dexterity and understanding to be able to utilize and integrate both together. Your gesture and your structure. It's always going to be about interplay between gesture and structure. Now, what anatomy is something that you layer on top of using your knowledge and study of it. Anatomy is about insertions, it's about anchor points in the body, and it's about thinking of the functions of the body as pieces of machinery, among other things. I mean, it's about more than just that, but it can be thought of as that. Like, anatomy is a thing you insert or use as a mechanism to understand how the body works. We'll be getting more into anatomy on the Friday classes. Not initially. Initially, we're going to be getting to, at most, kind of simplified anatomy. Because I want to head people in the direction of making what are known as figure lay-ins. Lay-ins have some anatomical knowledge in them sometimes, but not very much, like, inserted in them. I mean, they have a knowledge of proportion and like an anatomical proportion, and there's like a sense of an understanding from observation of like the sweep of the calf, the sweep of the arm, how the hips connect to like connect up to the rib cage and things like that, but in really simple ways, so you can break down the figure in broad strokes that don't get hyper detailed. Oh, the lemon slices approach. Yeah, I haven't used that recently. I really should do more homework on that method, but I know about the lemon slices method. I actually haven't practiced it, I'm ashamed to say. But I think I should. I mean, it's another tool that I can start to use if I start practicing it. Alright, so this one, I'm immediately seeing, my instinct is telling me to draw the cuneiform figures on this one to start. Because I can read a very simple cuneiform on this one, for sure. This method I got from a Pixar artist named Alex Wu, who teaches figure drawing at school, figure drawing through Schoolism, which is an online art school that I also recommend. And their classes are particularly affordable. I think they're only like $300 or something for a semester, which is really ridiculously affordable. How much is Brainstorm's classes? I remember them being particularly expensive, but probably worth, I would say. $4,500 per term, I think. Yeah, that is up there. Wow. No, their classes are about as much as they would be at normal arts. Yeah, their classes are about $700 to $800 at the Brainstorm Academy. Any tips on beginners who want to make manga? Yeah, lots and lots of figure drawing from life, preferably. Lots and lots of observation sketching. Find out what the best manga artists studied. A lot more of them are a lot more candid about what they studied and how they studied these days. There's actually a series that you can probably find episodes of on YouTube called Manben, which is a series that's was created and hosted by Japanese TV series that created and hosted by the artist behind 20th Century Boys, and I think it was Pluto or something, and Monster, the artist and writer behind those mangas. It's a series where it's him talking to other manga creators, young and old, and talking, and like he shows them how they work through their methods. He films them in their studio and they interviews them. It's just them talking shop and vibing for about an hour. Like Junji Ito was one of the guests on that, and his episode is really fascinating. The artist who created Crying Freeman is in there. What's that one artist, Pen or whatever? The one really, really heart-wrenching series. He also is featured in there. Yeah, Manben's fantastic. That would be something you would want to take a look at, maybe, because they drop lots of tidbits of how young artists should approach stuff. Junji Ito was showing sketchbook methods of that young artists that he'd recommend young artists start drawing with when they're getting into manga art, which is a lot of observation sketching with continuous line drawings from cafe sketches in life and stuff. And there's a YouTuber that you can also buy stuff from too, from a Gumroad or something called what is it, Manga Materials or something like that. They're really good. That little invented figure here, where there's this. I didn't draw out the whole line of action, but you can kind of sense where the line of action is in this. So, I mean, there is a point to why I'm doing all of this, and as I get more comfortable with this, I'm going to be doing more of what I want to use all this mileage I'm clocking in for, which is animation and storyboarding and character design and illustration. Mainly animation. Kill You 7 TV says, I've watched quite a few animes and I honestly want to create my own manga. I also feel like when I draw, I have the power to create my own perfect world and I'm able to control it. Yeah, world building is a really powerful, really good feeling of power. Kind of gives you control in your life over something. I would say that a good way to become inspired, to make much more unique manga and stuff, you should read a lot of really good fiction and historical. You should read a lot of fiction and a lot of history books. Even like classical literature too, and contemporary stuff. The best way to get ideas for stories is... did we already do this one? Are we looping back around? Yeah, we are looping back around, aren't we? Okay, Google, how much time left on timer? Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
There's 9 minutes and 52 seconds left.
Well, yeah, we lapped ourselves here. Let's go. Let's keep drawing these for the rest of the 9 minutes, but I'm going to use a different folder for the next session. So I have a bunch of other images of yoinks that we can use. Yeah, I mean, now we can approach this one a little bit differently because we're warmed up. It's okay to come back to the same pose sometimes too. The reason why I like this gesture drawing app that I'm using is because I got really, really sick of like those quick poses sites that just like they have like these limited libraries of stuff, and then I wind up like using the same photo reference over and over again, and it's really it gets kind of boring. Also, there's been times on those sites where like in the nude section, occasionally there's like straight up porn, like unambiguously it's porn. Like people with well, I think you can kind of put two and two together about when stuff is unambiguously porn, but like most of what I've seen was like really explicit, really like X-rated explicit selfies. And of course nudes are a big no-no here, just in general on Twitch. Which is kind of a shame. I can't really teach using art nudes on here. If I wanted to do that, I'd have to move to like Picardo or something. I might. I don't know if Twitch's policy has been changed so that you can stream to other sites, but like I can't. I want to teach like art nudes stuff in the future, and it's going to be hard for me to do that with Twitch's policy. Like Picardo would be just fine for art nudes, for example. What would be funny about Picardo is like if the audience from here goes over there, I would be one of the like more populated streams on that site for my sessions. Probably get a lot of random confused hentai and furry fans popping in the chat. Do you find drawing from nude helpful? Well, yeah. If you're going to learn the human figure, you have to learn like how it looks without any clothes on. There's no shortcut for that. You can find stuff that has like underwear on, but to really understand how the figure works, you kind of need a nude. I'll be your dad, but not in that way. Not the kind of thirsty daddy. Alright, let's see here. Yep, we've seen this one before. Okay, Google, how much time left on the timer?
5 minutes and 43 seconds to go.
And I get free class at Lit. Yeah. Yeah, draw along. Grab a pencil. Draw these 2-minute gestures that we're doing right now. Thanks. Well, I appreciate you for coming to the stream. Okay, Google, how much time left on the timer? I wasn't paying attention to the timer.
There's 4 minutes and 43 seconds left.
Goody, we got about at least two more poses, I would say, on this one, and then we're gonna take a 5-minute break, and then we're gonna keep going until about 8:30. So another hour. Yeah. How much is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. 16, 18, 20, 22. Yeah, that's pretty close. This website, it's not a website, it's an app that's $15 called Gesture Drawing. I'll link info about it. I'll show the tools that I've been using to do this stuff, to use this stuff. One of them is free, and you can probably use it without doing the time poses thing in the same way that I'm using this. But the Gesture Drawing app is really good, and it's worth the money, I would say. It's $15, but pretty darn good because of its sheer versatility. And you could honestly do what I'm doing right here and like run a Twitch stream where you have a bunch of images that you joinked from Google image search or something that you all like draw up together on or something. So I want more people to do what I'm doing here, because I'd sit on your channels and draw what you've got on screen, or maybe vibe with whatever it is you're focused on studying or learning. So I want to find more art teaching stuff to vibe with that people are doing in live streams. There's one there's a replay of one that actually just went live on YouTube I can recommend that some of my friends were doing, who are animation directors, and they did a bunch of like nerdy. They did a big nerd out session over Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animation and story art, and several of the including like a animation director at Flying Bark, showed up in chat and talked shop and actually answered some of my questions too when I asked them, which is really cool, really generous of them. Yeah, I'll link that one too. Doig and Swifty are the names of the people there, and Patrick Stannard, a director at Powerhouse, which is the animation studio behind the Castlevania Netflix animated series, among other cool ass things. They were on stream together, going over like really cool stuff in Rise of Teenage Ninja Turtles. So they're extremely talented animators, and I strongly recommend checking them out. They're very generous with their time on live streams, with like talking about animation and art principles. And they have their own community of artists and animators they do stuff with. I'm actually going to be taking more part in some of the stuff they do in the future too, in addition to what I do through here. So it'll be like some fun cross-pollination between their community and the one that we built through Ethan Becker's Discord. But that's the end point that I'm reaching towards with all the stuff I'm doing. I want to make cool ass animation. And studios like Flying Bark on Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are the kind of studios that inspire me. Science Saru with Masaki Yuasa is one of my big faves. They did Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken, Devilman Crybaby, Lou Over the Wall, and a lot of other cool stuff. Masaki Yuasa is probably my personal favorite animator of the moment, or my favorite animation director of the moment. He has this really loose, fun. There's a lot of different stuff. Okay, Google, stop. Okay, Google, set timer for 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. Starting now.
All right. So I'm gonna actually show the apps I use for this stuff. The first one is gesture drawing, which is this. This app is $15. I'd say it's worth it. Here, let's bring it up. QBrush. Gesture drawing. So Gesture Drawing 3 is the version that I'm using. There's some previous versions too, I think, that are also there. But this is a really, really nice app. I'm going to link it in chat. There it is in Twitch. Also link it in Discord. We'll also maybe take a look at some of the work that people have been posting, and yeah, there's a lot of these nice results I'm seeing people get in Discord from the gesture drawing we're doing today. Yeah, that's QBrush. That one's $15. That's the time gesture posing thing. You can select by folder and customize it and whatnot. But the one that I want people to pay close attention to, because I need to teach people how to use it a little bit, is PureRef, which is this guy right here, and this guy is free. Although you can pay to them to donate, so they are able to do more with this program. But PureRef is a really super handy tool, and I'll show you how it works in a little bit. Let me just bring up the link real quick. There's a $5 version of this same kind of thing called VizRef, I think. That's also available on iPad. What the? Why is it still doing the timer beeping? Even though it's weird. Okay, so is there a reason we only get 2 minutes just to practice getting them fast? Yes. I want people to get the general impression of the figure and make use of those 2 minutes and not get locked up on using that time. So, PureRef, which I've linked in Twitch and I'm now linking in Discord. It's a free piece of software, and maybe it's best if I show the website because it'll explain a little better what it actually does. So let's get that on screen real quick. yeah, this is what it is right here. Basically, like, you can make image boards using it. Like, you can yoink images and then you can ghost them onto your drawing space, or you can export them and stuff. You can drag them from your desktop. You can drag them from your browser in the web. I can drag them even from Discord or something onto like a workspace here. It stores them at full. Even if you resize them, it stores them at full size for the image. You can export them into a full. You can export the whole scene, so each of the images gets exported individually into a folder, or you can export it as a single image board with all that stuff laid out for you. And I'll kind of show you what I mean. And also, you can do this kind of stuff where you use this kind of ghosting technique over your drawing app, where it shows on top of it, and you can use it to draw over. But yeah, it's free. I'm gonna maybe disable that sound because that sound's getting on my nerves. It keeps beeping even when I'm not doing stuff. But yeah, let's get rid of that. So here it is right here. I've been yoinking all of these images from the web. So the control on this is a little tricky if you don't know what to do. So right click to move it. You right click to move the app around your desktop. You can resize the app itself from the borders here. Like that. If you want to move around inside the thing itself, you hold the Alt key and left click, like that. If you want to move an image, you just drag it. If you want to resize the image, you hold Control and Alt and move your mouse. You can also, okay Google, stop. You can also zoom in and out and stuff. There's a rotation tool as well, but I forget which one that is. But yeah, what I'm going to do with it right now is, so I already have this saved, the file, the PureRef file itself saved. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to export. I'm going to export the whole scene, and I'm going to create a folder with a suitable name for myself. So I'm just about to export them real quick. Just click export. So now it's exporting all of the images that are on this page here into a folder for our gesture drawing app. And now I'm going to select the app itself. Go into the uncategorized photo. And I'm going to start the session at whatever time. Let's put it like 2 again. And there we go. We got our next session set up with all those images that I dragged from the web. And like for this, I literally clicked and dragged them in here from like Google Chrome on the right side and just yoinked them in here. It's really that easy. So there's something like this on available on iPad that's not free. It's like $5 called VizRef. That one I also do recommend. That one is one that a lot of we have a lot of good stuff to work with in here. I grabbed so many good things in this folder, so this is going to be a really fun one. I also have another one with skateboarders, but it's our time to start drawing again. So I think we're good with 2 minutes again, so we'll go with that. So let's do it. Okay, Google, set timer for 25 minutes.
Sure, 25 minutes. Starting now.
All right. This may be our last session for the evening, but I'll see. We might go. We might do a small overtime mini session for like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes or something after this one. But here, let me full screen that. There we go. So how do you like the overall format? Like, I still have like more graphical things to kind of sort out, but the ratio between my drawing space and the reference file that's on screen, is that working pretty good for people here? because I kind of need clarity for both if possible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll have to work out like what would be a good layout to have that's not visually distracting in the future. But I'm sort of duct taped and glued this what I currently have here. Like I want to have some kind of visual interest on screen without being distracting, you know? If you notice, like I'm not using the tornado right now. I'm using something else that I'm comfortable with. Now that I've warmed up with the tornado, I'm kind of just going for it. I'm trying to make drawings that use the same sense of volume I got from doing the tornado. So I'm feeling ready to do this. And then if I kind of feel myself wandering a bit, I'll move back to the tornado. You know what? For the last thing here, I'm gonna grab some Rise of Teenage Mutant. Let's grab some Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff, or like cool anime poses or something. And the last thing we'll do today will be like drawing from cool poses in art, like superhero comics or animation or something. Maybe some Studio Trigger images. Ooh, I know something I can use. I can just joint straight away. One of the Yo-Yo Shinari sketchbooks. Then I have a folder full of stuff that I can just download from a thing that I have a bunch of scans of them that I can just import and utilize as a study tool here. I'll do that. That'll be what we do. I'll bring up Yo-Yo Shinari stuff. So I have that. I know where that is and I have it handy to go. Does that sound fun? We'll do like a 10 or 15 minute session of that to close out what we do this evening. Also, there's a lot more character in these poses, so feel free to kind of invent character designs off of these guys, or push the drama that's happening in them a little bit more. Yeah, I try to keep an eye out for poses that look really fun to draw. That look like they might be really fun to draw for these. And of good variety. What I can do is I can draw through it a little bit to kind of get a sense of the figure under there. Kind of gesture in the looseness of his hand. I'm not trying to get myself locked up in doing these. I'm just trying to play with it, kind of vibe with it. Get about 15 seconds, I think. The last touch, maybe I'll change the maybe like you an indication of the directional change on the planes of the head there. In front of his hat. Oh, hey. I think this is Gene Kelly, isn't it? Wow, I'm drawing a little bit large right here. I'm gonna have to make a new folder. Okay. So it seems counterintuitive, but the best way to get good results out of these is to slow down, even when especially when you're not really understanding what you're drawing. Slow down and think. And actually, like, here's a trick you can use if you're having trouble, like, thinking through what mark to put down next. Ghost your line, like, before you put your pencil down, like, kind of, like move your pencil around how you kind of want to. How you think you kind of want to put the line down, and then you can kind of visualize it a bit. So one thing I'm going to emphasize here is the compression on this side of the body and the stretch on the other side. I'm going to push that even more in this pose. And then I'm going to use the tornado back here on that leg that's going away from us. That's all I need for that. I still am drawing a little bit large. I think it's because of the size that I've kind of zoomed down on, so I'm going to shrink that guy. And then zoom in. This is a really fun one. Let's see if I can have some fun with this one. I'm drawing big, but now the size on the page is enough to give me enough space to move to the next drawing. I'm drawing off the page a bit now, though. That's fun. So now I got the direction of the head. Maybe get more a little bit of a Loomis head there. The hairline in. There. Put the jaw in. Get his hips maybe out here. Separate body about here. So I've seen the lemon slices method, so I'm kind of remembering a little bit about it and using it on that. You could combine the lemon slices a little bit, the lemon slices method with the tornado. For those who don't know, it's kind of a way of making like interlocking shapes of the body out of like kind of lemon slicey kind of wedges. It's a method I haven't really practiced, but I've seen it. And I think Ethan Becker uses it in his, or discusses it in one of his videos. So I need to actually rewatch his videos. It's because I'm so close to the source on his stuff. Like it feels trite for me to study his videos almost, which is kind of silly, because maybe I should be more on the same page with what everyone is getting out of his videos in the future. But I'm usually cognizant of when he puts up videos. I don't think he's been putting up videos recently. He's been busy with some other work. So I've actually drawn this pose before. This is Gene Kelly, right here. This is a really fun pose too. This was years ago when I drew this pose last time. But if you look up there, you can see indications of where stuff is turning a little bit. Like the belt and the hips, the twist of the torso, the top of the shoulders here. See some of his back, side plane of the body, his buttocks. You can see his arm is kind of going away from us in space a little bit. His forearm's going really away from us in space. His back arm, upper arm's going away. Not gonna get too caught up in that. I want to see if I can get like kind of a quickie Loomis head on him before I move on. The angle of the head is more like that. Let's throw that in. Okay. This page, pretty much just take your pick of which of these poses you want to do. You can maybe do more than one. Oops. Like I'm going to try for that actually. I'm going to use the Japanese cuneiform method that I'm fond of using on these like super quick poses. The mask? No, that's a mask. Yeah, so you can just do like a kind of a cuneiform stick figure for like a super quick pose, gesture pose. Let's see, there's another one I really want to do in here. Oh, that one in the lower right, I can do that one. Yeah, that's what's fun about these sessions. Like, we're going to be doing actually more kind of, we are going to be doing some quick sketch also in the figure drawing class, but it's going to be way more disciplined than this. This is more fun time. There is going to be some classes of this where we might do more disciplined figure drawing here too. But on the whole, this is going to be a class where it's about playing with stuff to loosen up. Fridays will be way more formulaic, way more. Oh, this is not a good. I don't really. Yeah, we'll stick with this. Fine. Let's get some character spatial relationships going on here. Maybe their relationships to their heads in the scene here. A little bit of that. Our head is turned. It's supposed to be more turned in that other direction, but I don't really have time to fix that. I just want to move on here. Get C curve for the neck. C curve for the neck. Shoulders. Shoulders. Gesture line for the body all the way down to the foot. Gesture line for the body all the way down to the feet. The feet are pretty. And kind of bow a line there in the scene between how their feet are placed. And then I'm going to maybe add her arm there. Add his arm there. I think they're holding hands, or close to holding hands. Or maybe they just got done or about to hold hands. I can use the front of their outfits a little bit. And that's all I got. That's all I needed. Whoa, we're not going to use this. Yeah, there we go. Also, congratulations to everyone who's making it to the third hour in this. We've got another 30 minutes or so. Okay, Google, how much time left on timer?
You've got 8 minutes and 4 seconds to go.
Nice. So we're probably going to do a bonus round of what I was talking about, with like putting on some Yo-Yo Shinari art. It won't be very long, maybe about like 5-10 minutes or something, 5-10-15 minutes, something like that. Just long enough to vibe. So I want to give people a taste of like, this is one of the dudes you want to learn from, or shoot to achieve the level of in your work, in your work potentially. Yo-Yo Shinari is one of the directors at Studio Trigger, by the way, and he's an amazing artist. He's responsible for stuff like Kill la Kill and DNA and Little Witch Academia and so on. Yeah, this isn't quite right here. But gotta move on. So for this one, since we have multiple poses in the same page, just take your pick. You can decide if you're going to do all 4 of them or a couple of them, if you like. And if you do all 4 of them, maybe kind of use the quickie 30-second pose method that I was doing, of like that Japanese cuneiform thing. Yeah, something I haven't done in a while that I should maybe do is I need to draw over some good artists I like to kind of vibe with them a bit. I should maybe do some of that tomorrow. It's a good idea to do that over like really well drawn, like old masters work, or like really cool art, really good art instructors, instructional work. It's a way of kind of integrating like their approaches into your bloodstream. And like what I was talking about earlier, it's a way of changing your how you cognitively think of cool art that you see, so that you will, as a consequence of doing that, get over your anxiety of, oh, these people are much better than me, I'll never be that good. No, when you see cool ass work, it's like, this is something I can put in my tum tum, something that I can eat with my eyes and my hand. And do draw over studies of, and copy studies of, and break down, and think about, and turn over, and play with it. And then like you'll start thinking of, when you see cool ass art, you start like cognitively thinking, that's mine. That's going to be part of me. And then the envy like vanishes really fast, because you start growing from seeing other people who are amazing. I'm not amazing yet, not by any stretch. I want to be amazing. I'm having a blast learning now. And eventually, just as a matter of course of me putting in the effort and evolving the way I practice and the way I output work over time, I'm going to be a lot better. And I'd have to have faith in that process. And I'm seeing results. Not where I want to be just yet, but I'm seeing results. My personal goal will be to have some kind of a regular output of animation every week in addition to this class stuff I'm doing. I'm kind of wrestling with that a bit this week, trying to figure out how I'm going to pace that. But I think a lot of it has to do with, for me, a lot of it has to do with confidence for me. And so classes like this, where I practice this kind of stuff, are really helpful for me. I found a lot of interesting art photography photos of strange outfits and other things that are also in this folder. Feel free to have fun with this one however you want. For me, I see an opportunity to mess with some perspective. It's an interesting bird. What a strange dog / bird. I don't know when this was made, but this looks like it was either made to look like vintage surrealist stuff, or it is vintage surrealist stuff. Yeah, see, look, you can play with perspective on this because these lines across the birdcage right here all go to a vanishing point somewhere off over there. That's a little minor opportunity to practice perspective. And then you keep in mind the fact that this cloak is kind of wrapping around the body like that. It's just something to wrap your head around, kind of. So maybe do a little ellipse for the bottom of the hat. Not getting overcomplicated with its shape. The brim of the hat. And also he's sitting on kind of a cube here, so you can use the perspective lines to kind of add that too. There's an interesting shot. Big old foreshortening there going on. So this one would be an excellent opportunity for the tornado. You can start with, maybe just put the head in there to kind of establish the overall proportion. In my case, I'm going to look like, let's see here. His eyeline is here, and then his ear, top of his ear is kind of here, almost parallel to the head a bit. So maybe like this, I'm going to kind of guesstimate. I'm not going for perfection because this is a quick sketch. But I want to get something in there that's sort of working for me as a point. Okay, Google, stop. Are we done already? Jesus Christ. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. No, yeah, we are done with this one. All right, well, this will be our last pose on this one. It's kind of wild. Like I was having so much fun. I figured that we had about at least a few more poses in this. Yeah, this is a good opportunity for our friend the tornado right here. I'm gonna take some extra time to show him off. So whoop. So we're looking like almost like right down on top of the ellipses that would be going up here for the tornado. I'm just going to fill this in here. Yeah, let me go back to that last one real quick. See what else I can do with it. So the stencil's a little narrow there for me, so I'm going to fix that. So I really like this pose. I want to maybe do a little more justice before I move on to our bonus round and our break. I don't know. I think instead of the bonus round, I'm going to show off some of the stuff we might be studying from them. So I think I might need a rest break after all this. But we'll see. I'll take a look at it. Maybe I'll get fired up after looking at some of the stuff I want to use. Good enough for now. Alright. Save that, and I gotta remember I'm gonna be exporting these to my Patreon. So I want to have a good body of stuff ready to go. Well, I'm gonna be not gonna be putting them on my Patreon yet, but I'm gonna be saving them and archiving them so that they can be easily uploaded there. Yeah, what a session. Yeah, that's a fun figure. That one turned out nice. Anyway, let's get rid of this guy. We'll pause it. What happened to the tunes, though? That's the thing. I think the jams died. Oh no. Alright, so let's move this off and move the pure ref thing off. I'll put on some royalty-free music in the background here while we figure some stuff out. Alright, so I'm going to take a look at what I was considering using for our bonus round. But I think I really do need a rest, so we might end after this. But I want to show you the kind of stuff that we're going to be studying from in the future. And, when we study actual artists. So let's see, Google. Albums. Where's my Yo-Yo Shinran stuff? There we go, Yo 1, Yo 2, okay, cool. Alright, so, this is the kind of stuff that we're going to be looking at in the future for studying from. This is Yo-Yo Shinari from Studio Trigger. He has a bunch of sketchbook stuff. I'm going to export into a folder that we'll be able to study from, in addition to figure drawing stuff that we've been doing, because he has a lot of really great figure studies that would be great to kind of vibe from his approach to drawing. just a little sampling. There's a lot of good shit in here, like just tons of good stuff. So we'll be using him as study fodder. I think I really do need a rest. I need it right now so bad. So we're probably going to end the stream very shortly. I will give another plug to my I'll give another plug to my Ko-fi page real quick before we end the stream. So yeah, if you'd like to support the free art classes we do, this is my Ko-fi page right here. I'll post a link to it in chat. You can support me with direct donations. They will help me meet my donation goals of getting a John Asaro head for the stream, which is a head drawing tool that I've shown previously on here that I'll be using for my head drawing classes. And after I hit this goal, then there's going to be other goals that for other equipment and other things that I'm going to be needing for the stream. Like I'm thinking of a traditional art webcam setup that I'd like to be able to budget for in the future, so I can draw on my drawing pad and have like a down shooter webcam filming me while I draw traditionally. The way I actually have things set up right now is pretty close to how I have things set up for a traditional drawing pad, like on this on this 22 HD Cintiq that I have in portrait mode on a Ergotron arm turned sideways, so I can like bring it down like right into my lap as if it's like a drawing pad in a figure drawing class. But anyway, so if you want to show up for the other classes we have, you can check the schedule section of our Discord. So I'll bring it up over here actually. Let's see here. So when you join the Discord, there's a section here for class announcements, which when the classes are going on, usually get pinged to when you're in the student group. And there's also class schedule, I believe. Hang on 1 second, I'm going to turn on my monitor so I can actually see what's going on. I don't have to use OBS to look at this. Oh yeah, that's the tip jar donation page for the art instructors that teach here. Yeah, I got my tip jar information and stuff of the other people who teach free classes through the Discord. Here's the class schedule. Class schedule has my schedule right here, which I teach Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. or so. Monday is head drawing. Wednesday is gesture drawing, which is what we did today. Friday is figure drawing and anatomy. And Saturday is a thing I'm calling the Sakuga class, which will be a combination storyboard and animation class focused on making really cool, fun animation. So we'll be doing a lot of cool study of stuff in there to gear ourselves towards projects we'll be working on throughout the week to turn in each week, like animation projects that we'll be making each week. But yeah, so those are my classes. If you want to join them, you can actually go to the opt-in page for the opt-in section that's down below here. It's right here, I think. Yeah. No, that's Spanish. Yeah, there's an opt-in section here where you can input a bot command to become part of my classes and stuff. The instructions are in the section itself. But yeah, I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit, so I'm going to have to cut it off pretty soon. Yeah, thank you all for coming. We will go to the congratulations screen now because I'm getting really exhausted. Thanks a ton. Thank you all for showing up, even if you haven't been able to, if you can't donate or whatever, even just showing up for the streams helps me. thank you for coming to the end of the stream. We'll now get to the congratulations screen now.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you all.